They say the fastest way to destroy love is to take it for granted. But sometimes it dies quietly, under the weight of scrambled eggs, reheated leftovers, and one too many dinners made without a single thank you. It happened over chicken Alfredo. Simple, comforting. The kind of meal you make when you're trying to get through the week without losing your mind. I set the plates down, wiped my hands on the towel tucked into my waistband, and sat down. I was tired. Tired like you only get when every day feels the same. When your life is on repeat and you're the only one pressing play. That's when he said it. It'd be nice if you made something fancier. Fancier, as if dinner were a performance and I had failed to dazzle the audience. I asked what he meant. He said he wanted more variety, more meat, more flavor, something different. And I just stared, not angry, not defensive, just numb, because my husband, the same man who can barely fry an egg, was sitting there critiquing the one thing I do every single day without fail. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every meal, every plate, every grocery trip, every leftover packed into Tupperware with a date written on the lid. That was me. We live in a house of 4. Me, my husband, our daughter, and my little brother, both still in elementary school. I work part-time from home. I cook every day. The kids help a little. My husband? He doesn't. I've tried. I've offered to teach him. I've asked him to learn. But he shrugs it off. I'm just not good at cooking, he says, as if incompetence were a shield he could hide behind. Still, I tried to hear him. I told myself, maybe he's just bored. I get it. Even I'm tired of the same 10 meals. So the next week, I started making a plan. I opened a new note on my phone and wrote out a list of meals he might like. Meals with beef, not chicken. Stir fry with flank steak. A roast on Sunday. Maybe meatballs too. I looked up recipes. Calculated costs. I was ready. We went to the store together. That was my second mistake. At first, everything was fine. I grabbed some herbs I don't usually buy. A bag of mushrooms. A better olive oil. On sale. Then came the meat aisle. I reached for a package of ground beef. And that's when it happened. He froze. His face changed. Then he started pulling items out of the cart. The mushrooms. The beef. Even the pasta that wasn't on sale. We can't afford your fancy living, he snapped. Fancy living. He said that like I'd loaded the cart with champagne and caviar instead of stew meat and produce. I blinked at him, tried to explain. You said you wanted different meals, I told him gently. So I'm buying different ingredients. He rolled his eyes and called me dramatic. I didn't argue. I let him do what he needed to do. I watched him take most of it out. I kept my hands at my sides, my jaw tight, my heart quietly breaking in my chest. We went home with the usual. Chicken, rice, a loaf of bread, a few basics. And the next week, I cooked the same 10 meals I always do. Fried rice, chicken Alfredo, chicken tacos, chicken stir-fry, chicken, chicken, chicken. Then a few days later, he said it again. I'm tired of fried rice. I'm sick of chicken. I stared at him for a long time, not with rage, just disbelief. You took the beef out of the cart, I said quietly. That's when he exploded. Said I was punishing him for not knowing how to cook. Said I was being an asshole. And I just stood there. There was no yelling, no slamming doors, just this heavy silence where something inside me cracked open. Because how do you argue with someone who asks you to create magic with nothing? Who tells you to make it fancier? then throws away the tools? Who sits at a table built on your labor and criticizes the menu like a spoiled child? It wasn't about food. It wasn't even about money. It was about the deep, echoing loneliness of being in a relationship where the scales are never balanced. He wants meals that taste like love, but he doesn't show up for the work that love requires. And what broke me wasn't the pasta. It wasn't the shopping cart. It was realizing that somewhere along the way, I became invisible. I became the chef, the planner, the shopper, the cleaner, the mother to 3, not 2. Even now, I keep asking myself, how did we get here? I work. I clean. I cook 3 meals a day. I teach our daughter and my brother how to help in the kitchen because I believe they should grow up knowing how to take care of themselves. I try to give them more than I had, more than he's willing to give himself. He does laundry sometimes. We clean together. But when it comes to meals, to the very thing that keeps our family fed, together, nourished, it's all on me. And when I finally ask for the smallest thing, for understanding, for support, I got mockery. I got gaslighting. I got called dramatic. That night, I stood at the sink, washing dishes after dinner. He was in the other room. The kids had eaten happily. And I thought, what would happen if I stopped cooking for him? Just him. Because the kids are grateful. The kids help. The kids say, thank you. But he expects. Maybe that's the difference. I'm not angry anymore. Just tired. Tired of cooking for someone who thinks he's doing me a favor by sitting down. So, am I the asshole? Because I made 10 meals on rotation? Because I didn't turn water into wine and chicken into filet mignon? Because I dared to ask for the tools to do what he asked? He says I'm the asshole because he doesn't know how to cook. But if he doesn't know how to cook and refuses to learn and won't buy what I need to do it, then what does he really want from me? Because it's not food. It's control. And I'm done pretending that this is just about dinner. So again, I ask, am I the asshole? This story is about so much more than food. It's about emotional labor. It's about the mental load. It's about what it means to give endlessly and be dismissed. What you just heard is not just a disagreement over groceries. It's a quiet crisis playing out in homes across the country. A partner doing the work. A partner pretending not to notice. And a relationship slowly cracking under the weight of unspoken expectations. To the listener, ask yourself, who's cooking in your relationship? Who's shopping? Who's planning? And who's taking it for granted? Let's stop pretending that domestic labor isn't labor. And let's stop excusing grown adults from learning basic life skills. If you've ever felt unappreciated, if you've ever been told you're too dramatic for asking for help, if you've ever stood at a sink wondering how someone could love you but not see you, you're not alone. This is your invitation to speak up, to ask for more, or maybe to stop serving those who refuse to feed you in return. So what do you think? Is she the asshole? Or is she finally done being someone else's unpaid, unthanked, unacknowledged chef? Tell us what you think in the comments. And don't forget to follow AITA Stories for more real stories of love, labor, and the messy truth in between.